Billin, Uptown Murf.
Top Billin,
Yo, second day of free agency, but I want to touch on somebody who may have slipped under the radar for a lot of you people, and that's my man Zack Baun, formerly of the University of Wisconsin and most recently with the New Orleans Saints. Zack Baun's one of these guys, when he was coming out, man, he had a lot of publicity behind him, perhaps as a first-round draft pick playing in my beloved Big Ten, right? At least for football. So Zack Baun, one of these guys who was kind of a tweener, right? When I was doing a lot of my evals on him, or just watching him casually, of course, with watching Wisconsin and all the Big Ten teams that I do watch, right? I thought, man, this dude right here definitely has some serious skills as far as a pass rusher goes, but he's a tweener, right? So some of these tweener guys, if you go to an organization that doesn't have a plan for you, or they see you as something that you may not be, or even if you are that, it's not your strong suit, you never know how it could go. And I don't think it went as well for Zack Baun as it should have been. Towards the end, right, towards last year, towards the latter part, he actually got a chance to play edge, and he was showing himself to be very much, or at least, right, to have the tools to be a lot like he was at Wisconsin. So I think he was kind of more like a one-year wonder at Wisconsin, right? He played before, but he really broke out his senior season, and, man, he was lighting it up, man. I'm talking about his pass rush moves, his suddenness, his ability to work with his hands, footwork, and all that, his move list. Really good stuff from Zack Baun, but coming into the New Orleans Saints, they already had edge players. And not to mention, right, Wisconsin, odd front alignment, New Orleans Saints, more of an even front alignment, right? So he having to play off ball, because you wouldn't play somebody 225 pounds, 230 pounds, right along the line of scrimmage as a 4-3 defensive end, right? Probably not going to hold up over time unless you're playing one of these crazy-ass wide nine schemes or something like that where they put you in a ton of space. But the Saints don't do that, so he was off ball. And obviously, if it's the New Orleans Saints, they have off-ball linebackers there, right? To me, they have the best off-ball linebacker in the league in Demario Davis, right? That's just my personal preference right there. I think that he can do everything. Not going to play over that guy. And they drafted a cat in Pete Werner, who's a damn good guy, damn good off-ball linebacker as well at Ohio State. So he was kind of lost in the crossfire there. But listen, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Not to call him trash or anything like that, because he's anything of the sort. I actually think he could carve out a nice niche with himself, or niche for himself with the Philadelphia Eagles. I actually think talent for talent, right? We know you got Bryce Huff there, right? He's going to be your leading man. Beyond that, we don't know what's going to happen to Haas Reddick. Hopefully nothing happens to Haas Reddick. It's my favorite Eagle. I'm going to say it for sure. You know how I rep baby South Jersey to the bone gristle, right? Jersey, period, to the bone gristle, but South Jersey for sure. In Camden's own Hassan Reddick is the best thing to come up out of the area. Josh Sweat. I think the world of Josh Sweat, I think he's very good. He does not fit a 3-4 defense. You get a Zack Baun, he fits a 3-4 defense. Hassan Reddick, he fits a 3-4 defense. Bryce Huff fits a 3-4 defense. Nolan Smith fits a 3-4 defense. These are all 3-4 type line of scrimmage, edge, outside linebackers. Josh Sweat, kind of a square peg in a round hole. He'd be the man in a 4-3 scheme. Probably trade him off, right? And then go from there. But I think Zack Baun, especially if Haas Reddick is gone, he could very well be a starter if they play him at edge. So I don't know the plan for him in this 3-4. He very well could come over here and play inside linebacker as well, or off-ball linebacker on the inside as well. So I don't know, but check this out right here. Wait, you know who else I forgot about who fits a 3-4 scheme? That would be one Terrell Lewis. He was signed to a futures contract. And listen, all these guys come from 3-4 schemes in college. Nolan Smith, 3-4 at UGA. Zack Baun, 3-4 at Wisconsin. And then you have a 3-4 as well from your boy Terrell Lewis, played at Alabama. These are natural 3-4 guys. But look at how they use Zack Baun mostly right here now. Keep in mind, he doesn't have a ton of film. He was primarily a special teams player. And he was a very good special teams player at that too. But he's more than that, right? We see him right here stacked off ball next to Demario Davis. So he's playing an outside linebacker, pretty much that strong side outside linebacker. It just depends on the strength of the formation right here. But this run is going front side, so he's your weak side player here. Look at it. Shuffle, 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 shift, and look at him arrive. Look at that. Off ball, right? So we need help off ball. We need help on the edge as well, depending on what happens with our starters there. But I like this right here. You can see it, right? Taking presence in the gap, right? C, B, A. Then it's time to go, right? It's go time right there on Rachaad White. Get himself a nice, 2-3 yard tackle. That's how you do it. But then look at the very next play right here where they use them. Not necessarily the next play, but the next series. You get what I'm saying right here. First of all, you see them in their sub package. Now he's on the line of scrimmage as an edge outside on Baker Mayfield right there. And he was hyped up too, baby. It's Baun time. You can see him pointing to his watch and everything. Look at that. Baun time, baby. But let's check out the rush itself here. I love the initial get off and then getting into his chest. So centered him up. Nice, low, right? Pad level, changed elevation on him. But just so happened the tackle got by with a little help from his friend, right? Because he was about to lap his ass, right? About to lap him into the quarterback. He was going to put him on roller skates on ice, right? He was rollerblading on ice, but just so happened he pushed him right into the guard. Bang. But look at him right now. He had a nice tail on that. Then look at him. Rebounded. Stays with it. Gets himself a sack on Baker Mayfield. We could have had a sack on Baker Mayfield in the playoffs like that. Come on, man. But yeah, I'm telling you, Zack Baun, you see right there, not necessarily being able to focus on one thing, right? You're an off-ball linebacker one play. You're an edge outside linebacker the next play. Now look at this. This is big time right here. This is going against Penei Sewell. They battled in college, right? Wisconsin played Oregon in the bowl game, and Penei Sewell actually did. That, my friend, was a white-collar sack, right? The first one was a blue-collar sack. He had to work for it. This one right here, straight technique, right? Takes that upfield plane just to change elevations on him, fight the hands, and look at that. Subtly fight the hands and dip it around the corner right there. Change the elevation. Made Penei Sewell a heavy-legged waist bender right there. You can see him tooting it up, right? Come on, Club Onyx style right there. Turn your man into a big old scripper. Bang. Made him fertilize himself. Got around the corner right there. Jared Goff don't know what hit him. Bang. Down goes Goff. Look at that. We got to see that one more time, baby. So I'm saying it's so natural for him to play at an edge. And you couldn't see this man playing at an edge, especially as off-ball linebacker. Man, at edge. What are we doing? All right, back off ball here. You can see them in their 4-3. I'm not going to say that this man has good coverage skills. I don't believe too many linebackers do. Demario Davis is pretty decent at it, but he makes a good play right here, sinking underneath. Look at this. Widens it out. Sinks right underneath. Got C.J. Stroud. Got him. Bang, though. Look at him. I don't like when linebackers be running, unless they're former running backs like most of us were, right? Ooh, nasty. Got to tuck that ball away, man. Look at that. Bang. Banged him in his colon, right? He was done. Pete was done. He needed some depends right there. Bang. Made him shit his draws. He fumbled the ball and all that. But listen, the play before that, right? Colon blow. He hit him with a colon blow. But man, that ability right here to recognize that and sink back underneath, I'm not sure we had that from a linebacker last year, did we? I don't know. I had to go back and think about that. But it was a good play right here. But don't be trying to put that man on no inside wide receivers or anything like that. Shit ain't going to work out. So they need to get off of that anyway. Get more defensive backs out there to guard people on the inside. All right. Back in that 4-3 under scheme right here, you see him back at edge. And look at this right here. Squeeze down, squeeze down, squeeze down, squeeze down. Work backside pursuit. Tackle, I think, right after the line of scrimmage there. Look at that. Obviously, you got to play C.J. Stroud, so you got to be, right? You got to be in that 50-50 glance mode right there to make sure Stroud is not coming with that play action fake right there on a rollout or boot. But once he sees that, man, you can see the closing speed right there. So Zack Baun's a pretty good athlete. Definitely not a Nolan Smith type athlete, but he's a better football player than Nolan Smith. So not too old himself. I would imagine he's probably 27. In fact, let's check see the particulars on this one right here. All right, we see 27 years old. So this is his age 27 season. So entering his prime right now. So that's pretty cool. 6'3", 225. He looks 225 as well. You can tell he probably lost some pounds to play off ball opposed to being on the line of scrimmage. So I wonder how that works out right here. And as you can see, only started 14 games over the past 4 years. 1 interception. Just those 2 sacks that I showed was his first 2 sacks. So a lot of special teams tackles, doing a damn thing right there. But man, at Wisconsin, we see right here, look, he was listed at 238 pounds. So if they are playing him off ball, definitely would like to see him get back into that range. But we see right here, freshman, he did pretty decent in 2018. He was finally able to get his shot right there. And that was after T.J. Watt and them guys had left. But man, 2019 season, look at that, 12 and a half sacks. So you get a guy with 12 and a half sacks in the Big Ten and play him off ball. I don't know, man. I don't know what to say about that right there. Coach Allen at the New Orleans Saints, definitely one of the better defensive minds in the business. So questioning that. And obviously they run a 4-man front. So that's where you got to play a guy like that. But in the 3-4, like at Wisconsin, 19 and a half tackles for loss, 12 and a half sacks. I don't know. Think about a guy like Nolan Smith. He had 12 sacks total his entire 4 seasons at Georgia. This guy had it in 1 season in equal competition in the Big Ten. So I let that sink in right there, right? So obviously Nolan Smith he's a first-round draft pick. Howie has to get the most out of him. Howie's not trying to look like he can't draft, right? Y'all always getting on him about his draft bust and shit like that. So I expect Nolan Smith to be the first man up. But working in a guy like this, at edge, right? If he does work at edge, along with Brandon Graham, and then perhaps Terrell Lewis, but of course across from Bryce Huff, your A1 player right there. So we'll see what happens to Haas Reddick and Josh Sweat as well, and Terrell Lewis bringing up the rear if he makes the team as well. So they're stacking some guys, right? So talked about it from that standpoint. Also want to see how it works with him off ball as well, because you definitely need players off ball. As we don't really have anyone. So maybe he is an off-ball player. But I would specifically play him on the edge. All right, but it's your boy Jersey Murf as always, man. Make sure you're sharing the content, baby, because sharing is caring. No doubt about that. Don't be a Karen. Make sure you're caring and sharing the content. All right, big salute to everybody out there, man. Salute.
Top Billin of Town Murf.